Good evening. I'm Mr. Nieto, President of Weslaco ISD Board of Trustees. This special meeting is being conducted in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting has been posted online for at least 3 business days prior to the meeting date. It is 5:30 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. I will begin roll call. Mrs. Sustaita,
Present.
Dr. Jaime,
Present.
Coach Cuellar,
Present.
Mr. Ben Castillo.
Present.
He was going to be online. Is he
Yeah.
online yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Oh, there you are.
Present.
Okay. Mr. Coach Eddie Serna
Present.
and Mr. Mark De Los Santos.
Present.
All right. Let the record reflect that we have a quorum today. Public comments.
We have one.
Okay. Okay. And they're online? Oh, they're here. Okay. Alejandra Merez.
Hello.
Please state your name and your address, and then Dr. Jaime will read you some procedures.
Sure. My name is Alejandra Merez. I'm a resident of Weslaco.
And your address, ma'am?
I wish to be private. I provided it to on the form.
Good with that, Mr. Mizo?
We're
with
good.
that?
We're good.
So, I'm gonna just read a statement. and
Yes,
then
sir.
and I'll give you the 3 minutes, okay?
Sure.
Pursuant to the Texas Open Meeting Act, the Board of Trustees may not deliberate on any comment made by a member of the public on a subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of this meeting. As per the Texas Attorney General, the scope of board discussion for a subject not part of the meeting agenda is limited to only a proposal by a board member to place the subject on a future board agenda. Specific factual information or recitation of existing policy may be furnished in response to inquiries, but the board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. Audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the portion of the meeting designated for that purpose. At all other times during a board meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board unless recognized by the presiding officer. No public comment presentation shall exceed 3 minutes. Any disruptive behavior by any speaker may result in the speaker's removal from participation in the meeting. Please be mindful of using names or personally identifiable information, as there is no immunity from defamatory comments while participating in public comments. And ma'am, when you start your presentation, I'll start the 3 minutes.
Sounds good. I'm ready. So I am here as a resident of Weslaco, as a parent, and as someone that values education very highly. When I first heard $14 million were missing, right? It was a great concern. So I wanted to know what was up, right? A lot of residents are wanting to know what's up with that $14 million. As I did look at the different meetings that you've had, and I noticed here, not many residents are present because we're preoccupied, right? With our income, with our family. So I am here as part of the community. $14 million is 16.5% of the budget, right? With those $14 million, you could hire 208 teachers and maintain their salary for a year. That's a lot of money. $14 million, as we hear in the news, it's insignificant. Oh, the budget, 14 million, $1 billion. So for 14 million, sometimes we just let it go. But this is for Weslaco ISD, for our students. This is not something to just write it off, right? So as I was doing reading and seeing what was going on, I noticed that I'm hoping there's no fraud. It was a clerical error. And while it's not very clear about our community, because it's not very well educated what's been going on, we just want to hear the cheese man. $14 million went missing. We have news stations now in your boards, right? But it seems to have been a clerical error. So I just am here to want transparency. I want clearance, and I want to see the investment that we put into salaries in our Weslaco ISD. Our superintendent signed off for that CFO, right? So I heard in some meetings, oh, the CFO is not here. Oh, had I known these figures, I would have reduced it by half. Who signed it off? Right? I want accountability. While it was an error, it was. I want accountability. I want actions. I want things that help our students. This angers me because I'm a mother. I see a lot of things going into the budget for athletics. We need more money in STEM. And I wish those 14 million went to STEM, right? But now our teachers are suffering. How can we retain those good valued teachers? I'm so lucky that all my teachers for my kid have been amazing here in Weslaco ISD. I moved to Weslaco from Austin because this was one of the better ISDs. So, and I acknowledge the work that you guys have put into making that and making me choose Weslaco. But moving forward, I want transparency. I want the best from you. Ms. Ustaita, you're the only one that acknowledged that, and I appreciate that. Mr. De Los Santos, keep fighting, sir, for the truth. If you do acknowledge this forensic audit, please be very transparent. And I know most of you are up to election in 26, so that's going to be very beneficial if you're very transparent. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Let's continue. Mr. Castillo, can we hear you if you speak? Oh, you have?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear?
Okay. I can hear you guys.
Can you increase the volume a little bit? Can you increase your volume?
Me?
Yes.
My volume's all the way up. It might be y'all's volume. That needs to be-
Okay, now I can hear him.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
better.
I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. All right. Item 4, discussion and possible action to approve the fee and scope of work for Weaver to conduct a forensic financial audit and investigation as requested by trustee Mark De Los Santos. Dr. Rivera.
Yes, guys, I'm ready to bring closure. Let's do the investigation. I'm all in favor. To the speaker that spoke, I would like to meet with you to explain. The money is not missing. Channel 5 did a very unfair story. As I explained to the board, the 14 million, for different reasons, it went to staff, it went to salaries. So it is not lost. There's no fraud. It was something that happened. I'm not going to go over with you right now with the CFO, but the money, Channel 5 again, they really hurt us a lot with this story. The money is not missing. It's accounted for, and the money went to staff, to our teachers, to our staff, and the raises they received. So again, I'm ready to bring closure. Let's do the investigation, and let's bring to the board, to the community, exactly what happened. I'm open to the investigation, and in fact, I want it now.
All right.
Well, I'd like to say a few words as my agenda item as well.
Yeah, but he has a motion already.
Huh?
He has a motion, then in discussion, we'll have that.
Well, I know, but I wanted to describe the agenda item and why I requested it, though.
You can.
For the Robert's rules, that's all, but
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Castillo.
Okay, I move that the board approve engaging Weaver and Tidwell to perform a limited scope forensic financial review/audit focused solely on the district budgeted and actual revenues and expenditures for the two most recent completed fiscal years for the purposes of determining whether there is evidence of fraud, misappropriation, or financial irregularities, and that the board authorize the superintendent to negotiate and execute the engagement letter and related documents on behalf of the district. I further move that the board approve engaging the district's legal counsel, Walsh Gallegos, to conduct an independent investigation into the district's handling and processing of the information in the grievance submitted by an employee who alleged that the chief financial officer's reported financial numbers were inaccurate, including a review of compliance with applicable board policy and procedures, and to provide findings and recommendations to the board, and that the board authorize the superintendent to execute the engagement letter and related documents.
All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Castillo.
A second.
We have a second by Mrs. Sustaita. Any discussion?
yes,
Okay.
I do.
Mr. Los Santos?
I really don't appreciate the fact I wasn't given the opportunity to discuss the agenda and why I wanted to put this on the agenda. But I requested this agenda item, not just to do a limited scope, right, that's been suggested, because that's the complete opposite of really what our community needs right here. You have a $14.5 million overage on expenses, right, for salaries of last year that were not disclosed to the board when we approved it, okay? And what I really wanted to tell you all is that at the May 21st, 2024 board meeting, okay, where the district was presented last year's budget projections, before approving it, the chief financial officer presented to the board at 48 minutes and 16 seconds into the meeting, which can be found on YouTube, that there would be a multi-million-dollar budget deficit in salaries for the upcoming 24-25 school year and require the use of millions out of fund balance and savings. And he said that to every single person that's sitting in here. And that was at the May 21st, 2024 meeting. Dr. Rivera, in that same meeting, presented financial slides to the board on the same day at 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 55 seconds. The superintendent presented new revenue streams for last year that would pay for salary increases and bonuses and would not impact the fund balance. And this same information was used to convince the board, slide 3 of that presentation on that day, to release $20 additional million from savings for non-critical construction projects outside the bond that the administration wanted. 10 million of those have already been designated this year that we can't return. As soon as Dr. Rieta found out what the true status was of the school district, he put the other 10 back, the remaining back, and he canceled projected projects. 2 completely opposite presentations on the same day, and critical slides allegedly that neither the CFO, the superintendent, or the whistleblowers, because I talked to them, created. As the superintendent stated in the last meeting, he presents what he is given, which is true. I work within school districts. Superintendents hire individuals based on expertise and experience and qualifications. To do a limited audit other than what we've already quoted and presented is, all I can say, it is a tragedy for our community, because they should do a full audit as presented with the quote and interview staff to figure out how we had these critical failures. How did we get to this place and we had these critical failures, and so we can prevent them again? Because the fact is, you have a loss last year, you have a projected salary loss already this year. You already got shown that in December in your budget documentation that wasn't approved, but it was in there. And then you already have also almost $10 million of construction projects. Because I want to know why who gave him that information? Because it wasn't the CFO, because the CFO presented the opposite on that day. He presented you're going to have a deficit, and he presented that you were going to have to take millions out of the fund balance. And then somebody gave information to Dr. Rivera that he presented with new revenue streams that would cover additional expenses and surplus funds that were going to pay back $20 million that were taken out for construction projects that the administration wanted. Those were not board requested. So it is only fair to the staff, it is only fair to Dr. Rivera, and also our taxpayers that we approved the River quote as projected. Anything other than that is just you just have fear of the truth and transparency. That's the complete opposite of what we just heard right there at the podium.
Thank you. Any other comments? Ms. Ustaita, I'll start over here with you.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Yes. I agree with Mr. De Los Santos with the forensic audit. The reason I think that Mr. Castillo brought up the lawyers is because we want all sides of this story. We want to know what happened with the finances and the financial problems, which is what we want Weaver to focus on. And then we want to know the story behind it, what happened. We want to see the emails. And that's why we want to see if a lawyer can be contracted for this, because that will reduce the cost of the Weaver report from $125,000 to maybe a little bit less, but yet we're still getting all the sides of the story, the finances, the expenditures, the revenues, and the story of the emails and what happened, and having a lawyer investigate into the whole story behind it. So I understand Mr. De Los Santos, and I also understand Mr. Castillo's
President Nieto,
motion.
I don't know if I can comment on here, but there's a conflict of interest with that firm that was suggested. So I don't know if we have to go to executive session, or do I say that out here in public?
Do we have to get the firm that Mr. Castillo
Because he just said
motioned, or can
Washington.
it
Yeah, the firm that he suggested you wouldn't be able to use because it's a conflict of interest.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to go into detail or you want to take it to executive so I can give you the information as well.
Mr. Sepulveda, is it a conflict of interest?
No. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
But But I'm saying,
Okay.
I don't want, if you want to hear it, I don't want to tell them about it in public. Do we go to the back?
We can do it here, that's fine.
Well, allegedly with the grievances, the level 1 and level 2, where the allegedly the individuals, there was administration and there was personnel present, and there was administration personnel right present, and you also had attorneys there. You had the attorneys of the grievance, and you had other attorneys representing the district. So I think that's all I'm going to say as far as in public, that I think that the suggestion that Trustee Castillo mentioned isn't going to be able to go through.
Can you change your motion?
Quick, if Walsh Gallegos has a conflict, if I could just change the Walsh Gallegos to Thompson and Horton.
Counselor who?
Yes. They're a law firm out of Houston that represents school districts all over the state.
I think an independent third party, go ahead.
Repeat it, I couldn't hear it. Who?
Horton.
Horton, okay.
Based out of Houston?
Based out of Houston, you said, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If
so-
Walsh can't do it, if they have a conflict, then let's just add to my motion using Thompson and Horton instead.
Okay, we'll add that to your motion. Discussion, Dr. Jaime?
Yes, I agree with the comments that have been made, and I can assure you that, and the public, that nobody here with administration or any of the board members is happy with what's happening and what happened and transpired. But as we've been told, that there's not any funds missing, any money missing. But I do agree with the fact that this audit, will help us be transparent and maybe help put the public at ease with these funds. So I do support it, and I support the idea of also looking into it further with the proper procedures with a law firm that can give us both sides of the story. Like Mrs. Sustaita said, a lot of times forensic audit will give us just one side. I'd like to also hear both sides of the story. So I think that's going to be a good compromise to be transparent to the public. And I also want to say that I believe our administration, once we put this aside, I think we can move forward and continue the district in the right direction as Dr. Rivera has been taking us. So that's all I have to say for now. But thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jaime. Coach Correa?
I'll agree with what my fellow trustees are looking at. We hearing both sides, and the most important thing to this whole thing is to put an end to it so that we can move forward and get back on track and focus on what we're really supposed to be doing as student performance and outcomes. So let's do what we have to do in terms of supporting this concept, and then once we get the results, take corrective actions and move forward.
Thank you, Coach Correa. And continue on, this is what is going to be covered by either the law firm?
Yes, because I'm confused as to what I know he said limited, but what is he taking away from the quote, or?
No, this is what's going to be covered. Interviews of all relevant staff, including leadership that had access to allegation information.
Okay.
Review of emails and supporting documentation from relevant staff. Verification of accuracy of financial information presented to the board and its sources, and if it met state law and policy requirements. And then the final one, determination of who was responsible for the information provided, when, how, and why it was created and presented, and who had knowledge as it was going on.
Yeah, that's
so
what I
that's
said,
all
yeah.
going to be part of the audit, and of course the
Both.
attorney.
Both parties are going to do the
Yes,
same
sir.
as I described there? Okay.
Yes. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, Coach Serna?
No, just like Coach Guaya said, and I just want to put it behind us and start moving forward. Cost is of a concern. Anywhere, we had the money, that was the question that came up, but cost is always going to be at the forefront. So whatever's going to be more cost effective and get to the bottom of it, let's get it done.
Okay. Mr. Castillo, any discussion?
Yeah, just clarification. I think, what Trustee De Los Santos wants, it's accomplished with that motion. We get the auditors to review the financials, because that's what auditors do. Tell us if there's any evidence of misappropriation or fraud, because that's a big concern in the community based on that. KRGV article, and then get the lawyers to tell us the who, what, when, where, and why.
But just to confirm, you see, there's a difference there. So the who, what, when, where, and why is going to be done by both parties, right?
No, by the attorneys, as I understood.
So you're not, so because Weaver's a CPA firm, but that does forensics. So like I said, they investigate emails, et cetera, and whatnot, but they also have to have access, just like our quote, they have to have access to interview staff
Yeah,
as
and-
to who
and-
created things and who emailed things. So
That-
you all are saying you're going to take that away from Weaver and you're going to do it, because we don't even know who this firm is.
Yeah, Dr. Rivera's going to follow up with a motion presented by Mr. Castillo.
So what is it? Because I'm confused. So is it as it's described, or is he limiting it? Because the Weaver needs to have access to both.
Okay, Mr. Castillo?
They need to have access to the data and individuals in question.
Okay.
So they can do the report. Now, if
My
he's saying,
motion is to have Weaver do the financial review and audit, forensic audit,
Correct.
and for the lawyers to do the who, what, when, where, and why.
Correct.
well, I'm not going to vote for that.
Okay.
Because you're limiting Weaver's access to interview staff, correct?
I want Weaver just to focus on the financials, and I want the lawyers to.
But my
conduct
question
the
is, are they
investigation.
going to interview staff?
In my motion, that's not contemplated.
Right.
So he's, yeah, you're removing it from them to interview staff.
So, but still the attorneys are going to focus on that area. And of course, any questions that they're going to have for any of our employees, they're going to,
But my concern is it's an attorney firm that nobody even knows here even knows. Initially, you had one attorney firm that was recommended, but it's a conflict of interest, and now they throw another one at you. I mean, come on, guys, your community deserves better than that. That's fine.
okay, so we have.
I won't be supporting this motion at all.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Ben Castillo, second by Mrs. Ustaita.
I have a
One more
question
comment.
though. The lawyers, do they, in the scope of their work, will they be able to go in there and do what a forensic auditor does and take emails and correspondence that Mr. De Los Santos and the rest of the board would want if a lawyer is hired?
That's what I would want if it passes.
But my thing is, it took me 8 months just to get a Weaver report, Weaver item on the agenda and get quotes and discuss it and to put it on the agenda. He's mentioned a law firm that you don't even know what it costs, what they're going to charge you per hour, or what they're going to charge you for the scope that you're asking for. That's what I'm concerned, because everybody said here we're worried about costs.
Right.
But yet, you don't even know what they're going to charge you. You haven't even gotten a quote. You don't have any time to delay, and this is really not a game, because you will find out by the end of this year that you're going to be in another multi-million-dollar deficit. 14.5 is just the tip of the iceberg. In May and June, it's just inevitable. The facts are there. The whistleblowers know what they're talking about, and the continuing waste of time is only going to hurt people that trust us and expect us to do what's right and to act quickly. Taking these processes here is just, it's not in the best interest of our staff, our students, our taxpayers.
Okay.
At all.
We have a motion on the floor by Mr. Ben Castillo, second by Mrs. Ustaita. Any other discussions?
I just want to make sure that if we do hire a law firm, they're able to do what Mr. De Los Santos is saying and get the correspondence and the emails and everything that a forensic auditor would do. Can we assure that they can do that also?
That's what my motion contemplates. And it would be a board directive if passed, so they would have to do it.
What would
And
be,
the admission-
but like nobody here knows that firm. You do. So what is their background? What experience do they have in forensic audits? What type of data forensics do they have? I mean, what experiences, what districts? Weaver works with the largest districts in the state of Texas consistently because they're known to come in, do their job, give a report, and then they leave. This firm that you're bringing up, what experience do they have? Well, I mean, because you know them, we don't.
They represent school districts all over the state of Texas. They have offices in Houston, Austin, and Dallas.
Okay.
They represent Houston ISD, Dallas ISD, Austin ISD, and they conduct investigations on behalf of school districts all the time.
Okay.
And so I don't want them to conduct a forensic audit. I want the forensic audit to be conducted by the auditors,
Well,
right?
my motion was a forensic audit / investigation. It was both because that's what they do. That's why I put that agenda item there. They could do both. I don't
Yes, and-
see why we would deviate. I just don't like the way it looks. You're stripping. We've already been through Weaver. We know what we get with them, but yet we're saying, well, come crunch the numbers. You all crunch the numbers, but don't talk to staff. And we're going to only have this firm that nobody even knows how much they cost, who they are, what their history is. It's just amazing.
Their hourly rate-
It's amazing.
Their hourly rate's $375 an hour.
So it's the same rate that most attorneys charge, correct?
That's what industry standards, yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Ben Castillo, second by Mrs. Ustaita. I will go individually. You're in favor of? If you're in favor, please say aye. Mrs. Ustaita?
Before I vote, I just want to say that I'm speaking for myself, and I believe that we want the best price for Weslaco ISD, and we want to be transparent. We want everything to be out in the open. We have nothing to hide. Board members, as I was looking at, comments, social media, board members do not get paid. We do this out of our own free will, out of our time. We take time away from our families. We do not receive a paycheck from Weslaco ISD. Everything that's been said about the board and missing money, that's why literacy and mathematics is so important when kids are in school and they're young, because we need to understand that what words mean, and missing unaccounted is not correct. There were errors in the mathematics, and that's why math is so important when you're in school. There were errors in the verbiage of missing and unaccounted money, because it was never missing. It was never unaccounted for. The mathematical errors were there, and it was presented to Dr. Rivera and the board differently. No one took money away from anybody. So I just want to make that clear to the community. We do not get paid to be school board members, and literacy in math is very important for the news, for us as board members. So I believe the best decision right now, and we can still work on the scope and the price.
Correct.
With the lawyers and with the forensic auditors, and still, ask for exactly what we want. So I vote yes.
Okay. Dr. Jaime?
Aye.
Coach Cuellar?
Aye.
Mr. Ben Castillo?
Aye.
Coach Serna? Aye. Mr. De Los Santos?
I just want to say before I vote that, the district has the situation that it has. The facts are out as far as the information that we're receiving, and for months we didn't get the proper information. We have whistleblowers with allegations of manipulation of finances and budgets. You have level 1, level 2 grievances that are actually on paper that should have been acted on, and other things too that were required. But at the end of the day, I don't think that the search for the truth and transparency to our community needs any type of modification or limitations or stipulations. So I'm going to vote no.
Thank you.
Can I just say that I will work with your motion, with both firms, and to make sure both firms come up with the answers that I need, that the board needs, that the community needs. I will work on the scope with both firms.
Okay. So again, yes, and the president votes yes. Now, Dr. Rivera will follow up, and to make sure that systems are in place, that the proper accounting was in place, because that's what Ms. Ustaita was mentioned, that accounting was not properly posted. Like you have accounts payables, accounts receivables, and then of course they have to balance out. So the forensic audit and Dr. Rivera is going to work with both groups to make sure that systems are in place, so that way in the future, Mr. Los Santos had mentioned that a few board meetings ago, that we need to do that, so that way in the future we're not in that thing that we have to do again, right? All right. Any other Dr. Rivera? No. So, motion passes. Adjournment.
So move.
It is 6 o'clock, and we adjourn this meeting. Thank you.